Hello, and this is Theme Park Squib. It is over, 2019 is over, and the end of a decade as well, as we go into 2020 in just a few hours' time. Yes, I just want to start off by hoping everyone had a great Christmas, and hope you enjoyed the festive holidays. But yes, this is the New Year special. I didn't do a Christmas one, I wanted to combine them together this year and only do a New Year special where what's going to happen in this show. It's going to be a bit different than normal shows. We are going to look back at what's happened in 2019. We're also going to look back at what's happened in the past decade in the theme park industry, and also we're going to look forward to 2020, where I am going to announce some of our trips that we got planned for next year and tell you what's coming to the parks next year, really, some of the developments, and also some merchandise showcase where I'm going to show you some bits of merch. And finally, we've got lots of shout-outs to get through. So, let's get straight in to the first section of the New Year show, which is... let's look back at 2019. What a year 2019 has been. It's been an amazing year for the theme park industry, and now we're just going to take a look back at what's happened this year across the globe and some of the trips I've done this year, some of my most memorable moments this year. We've had quite a few this year. It's been an amazing year for the channel. So many vlogs. It has been brilliant. So first we're just going to take a look at what's opened in the past year, really, and what has happened. We've had so many good investments this year. What have we had? We had the biggest one, probably is the biggest, is Star Wars Land at Disneyland in California and Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. The amazing theme name, Rise of the Resistance, did open the other week. That looks fantastic. I'm a big Star Wars fan, did enjoy the new movie as well. But looking at Star Wars Land, it is fantastic. It looks like the most advanced themed area in the world, and it opened this year. It's been a step up for the theme park industry, but we have had loads as well this year. On the subject of Florida, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, the new coaster that opened at Universal's Island Adventure, that looks fantastic round there. And other things, like the UK has been amazing this year. We've had loads in the UK. We've had, at Chessington, we've had the Room on the Broom, A Magical Journey, which is the re-theme of Hocus Pocus Hall. At Alton Towers, we've had a bit of development. We had the Alton Towers Dungeon obviously open. We had the hotel, or the new accommodation, not really a hotel really, is it, the stargazing pod, and the new CBeebies Land expansion, and yeah, and then at Thorpe Park as well, we had lots of events this year, and yeah, we've had lots of stuff happening this year. And at Legoland with the Haunted House Monster Party, which I absolutely love. I love that thing, that madhouse. That is brilliant, and we've had so much over here. Not as much as we hoped. We haven't had many new coasters. We had a couple of smaller places, but next year looks even bigger, and I'll talk to you about that later. But what we've done on the channel this year, we have done loads. We've had a brilliant year. We've had so many trips, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. We've really had a good year. And now I'm going to share some highlights that we've had this year. First highlight was Monk's Walk. I did that for the first time in our close season update back in February. Had a really good time there, walking down Monk's Walk, enjoying the sights, seeing Loggers Leap, and that was before Loggers Leap was announced. And we looked round, we looked at the scare mazes not in action, we looked at some work going on, we saw Fort Farm, the Rangers, and we had a bit of an experience in Starbucks, which I ain't going to talk about, with Starbucks, yeah, paying quite a lot of money for quite a small tea, which, and there was a Greggs down the road at Wicks, so next time when we do it, we are going to pop to Greggs down at Wicks, which I think is a lot better. Yeah, so Monk's Walk was a highlight. We did a Chessington Zoo Day then, which I do love a good zoo day at Chessington, seeing all the animals. And then it was the theme park season. We had the theme park season open. We've done many trips. We went to the Chessington Preview Day, where we queued 3 hours for Room on the Broom. That's all I can take away from that. But I did enjoy Room on the Broom. It's a good addition for the UK. I think it's Hocus Pocus. Why? I don't enjoy Gruffalo. I prefer Babbleworks to Gruffalo, but I prefer Room on the Broom to Hocus Pocus Hall. I think because Babbleworks was such a good ride, and it was such a famous ride, and everyone mostly enjoyed that. With Hocus Pocus Hall, it weren't so famous, it weren't so well known, and it weren't a big attraction, but good that a major attraction has been, but queuing 3 hours for it weren't ideal. Went to Thorpe Park Preview Day, stayed over in the Thorpe Shark Hotel. Container, yeah, I can't really call it a hotel. I think the Thorpe Shark Cabins now they've renamed it, and it was something. Yeah, we stayed there for the preview day. That was a tight room, saying it could sleep 4 people, that was tight in there. I think it's meant to be, but hopefully Thorpe get a proper hotel in a couple of years' time, because that is tiny in there. I'll do it again, We did get it quite cheap. It was £20 for one. It's just worth that for the breakfast, to be honest. But it was good. But preview day was brilliant. We got all the coasters a couple of times, which is always good. And yeah, we headed up to done a Blackpool trip again, which we've been doing for a good couple of years now. We're at Blackpool, where we went to White Castle on the Good Friday. It's a big Easter trip. We went up to there on Good Friday. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed White Castle. Very good day. And then on the Saturday we were at Blackpool Prince Beach. I got an Icon, my #1 UK coaster, which is a highlight for this year. I think that was fantastic. And then on the Sunday we went to the Blackpool Tower attraction. So Blackpool Tower Dungeons, Sea Life, and also the Madame Tussauds there, which I do love. That Madame Tussauds, it is my favourite, a lot quieter. And yeah, it's been, after that we did a load of more trips. We went to Alton Towers, we stayed up at Alton, we were a Polar Explorer in a hotel. Loved that trip, really good trip. I really enjoyed that, where we tried out and looked around the hotels, went on all the rides. We haven't done the dungeon yet, hopefully we can do that next year, but we saw all the stuff they had out there, which was brilliant. And some other trips that we did, we went to Legoland, try out the Haunted House Monster Party. That is a highlight. I did enjoy that attraction, but we did a lot more. We did a lot of places in different countries. We went to the British Formula 1 Grand Prix. That was a highlight. That was a brilliant weekend. We were there on the Saturday for practice free and qualifying, and then on the Sunday for the race. That was a really good race day and a really good experience going there, and so good. I'll tell you about what we're doing with that next year. And then we went to Cyprus. I went there on a lovely relaxing holiday to Paphos. We stayed over in a villa, and you probably saw the video. I took you a tour around the villa. It was a big villa, and there was a highlight on there with a European tarantula that got into the villa, which isn't in the video, but that's a story that did happen with a European tarantula. Big thing it was. And yeah, we went to Paphos Lunaland up there, a little park, a little theme park. That is a highlight of the year. It was so good there. Really enjoyed it, and just a nice highlight really of a park that not a lot of people will know. One has covered it really. And we went there and we filmed a vlog, filmed some of my POVs, got a coaster credit, had a look round, went on some other good rides there, went on some inverting swing that I don't think I'd ever do again because I felt a bit sick afterwards, but yeah, well, that's just me. And yeah, that was a good trip up there. We also went to Clapton Pier a couple of times. Do love it down at Clapton, nice local place where we went and played golf there, Skull Point Golf. That's obviously a highlight for the year. Really did enjoy that. Nice fun day out, that one. Same with the Alton Towers Golf. I enjoyed that for the reason we thought we were going to miss dinner when we were doing it. But that was good. I really enjoyed that. Alton Towers Golf and Clapton Pier. I always enjoy a visit to Clapton Pier. I love it at that place. And then at Southend, Adventure Island, went there a couple of times. We saw whatever they done. We didn't do Axis, sadly, because of the queue and unreliability on the day we went. But saw a Halloween event there, saw the park a couple of times, and had a good day out there. But then, goodbye, summer, nice summer long nights, and hello to Halloween. We did more than ever this year. We did so much at Halloween, starting off at Thorpe Park Fright Nights, which is definitely a highlight. Creek Freak Massacre and a brilliant scare maze. That's a highlight, and some other scare mazes as well, especially my jump scare of the Whisperer. That's been a highlight of the year. That was very good when that came around that corner in the Living Nightmare. And yeah, some highlights. Then we went to Chesington, some highlights there where I got picked out in spiders and had to stick my hand down the toilet, a sink, and then rummage through a bath looking for a spider. That's definitely a highlight for me. I really enjoyed that. Creepy Caves Unearthed was a highlight as well for the scare factor and a hand nearly grabbing me from the ceiling. And just Chesington in general, the theming was brilliant. That was a highlight. And yeah, also highlights when we went to Legoland Windsor. That was highlight. Just a lovely relaxed day that was at Windsor for Blackpool Trip, and they're filming a documentary there and that on that day. And then we were invited down, thank you still again to Kirst in Basildon at Watts Island Country Park for inviting us down to the Kirst Scare event. It's on every year. I would check it out next year. It was a brilliant event. We got invited down to check out there and we really enjoyed the day. Just thank you for inviting us, and that was brilliant. Safe Zone, Abducted, all the scare mazes there. They were my two favourites, but they were brilliant, and I really enjoyed the evening. A great fun evening before we headed up to a couple of other places as well, that was a busy time for us. We then headed up to White Castle for Haunted Castle, where that is probably the wettest day I've ever done at a theme park, but the rain didn't stop the fun. We had a really good day. The haunting, or the paranormal encounters, that scare maze, that was terrible, but the rest of it was good. Then we went to Southend, first time for Halloween event, did enjoy that. Highlight was getting soaked on Tidal Wave in October, that I'd never do again. I do not advise it if it's cold. And also the ride operator up there was a highlight of the year at Tidal Wave, dressed up as Michael Myers from the film Halloween. He was got into the character, didn't speak, and he was quite good up there. And yeah, then we did Alton Towers to end off the year at Halloween. That was good. Highlights were the attic and Skin Snatchers, especially the attic, especially getting jumped on. Not physically jumped on, just jumped on from behind, to be honest, by the devil, I think it was. And Darkest Depths, brilliant, well, amazing theming. Me getting kicked in the face by an actor in there, hanging on the hammock, because that was quite funny. And yeah, but we did the other week, as you probably saw on social media, we did go to Hyde Park Winter Wonderland. That was a highlight, getting on the Munich Looping again. That has gone up my order now to number 2 coaster on my list, just behind Tara, and I love that. I looked around there, went on Snowjet, that was a highlight as well. And Winter Wonderland's just good to walk around, even though the rain again. And the highlight there was us trying to look for a McDonald's. Our navigation went a bit wrong and said, here is the McDonald's, and it ended up being a block of flats. So I don't think McDonald's was there, but we did find one just around the corner. I did get me Big Mac, don't worry about that one. Then just saw social media just the other week, just a few days ago, we were at Chesington. We stayed over in the Safari Hotel, that was brilliant. I love the pool in there. Highlight was in the steam room. Just to explore, we had temple for dinner, we had a meerkat room, lovely views of the animals, and lovely meerkat room, really well themed in there. Did love the TV cabinet with all the suitcases on. And then we went to the park, we done Vampire in December, which is special, isn't it, really, getting on that in December. But we tried to get a night ride, and sadly it broke down, but hopefully we'll be getting night rides later on in the year. And that was the end of the year, really, of what we did. But 2019 has been a good year, but it has seen its rather large share of ride closures or area closures across the parks. We have lost some things this year, such as Ramesses Revenge at Chesington. Their top spin was announced to be closing after many years of operation, to be closing at the end of the 2019 season. I got my last ride and it really did enjoy it. I was never a fan of Ramesses, but it was quite special and quite sad getting my last ride. I think I'm never going to get, and that's going to be replaced by Drop Tower in 2021. So not long to wait. We also lost Toadie's Crazy Cars, which my last ride on that is probably my most favourite bit of this year, was my last ride on Toadie's Crazy Car, because that ride has a special place in my heart, that one. I really do love Toadies. That's getting replaced this year with a shortened rethemed Toads and a log flume from Weymouth Sea Life Centre. And also another closure, Claire Cuckoo Land at Alton Towers, that's completely gone now for Walliam's World next year, that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, we've seen a lot of ride closures this year, but next year it looks even better as we've got loads to come. The next part of the show, because it's 2019 and it'll be a new decade when it hits 2020, we're going to look back at the highlights of the decade. So let's look back at the decade. It's crazy to think that 2019 will be an end of another fantastic decade, as in a few hours time, I am filming this on New Year's Eve, we are going to go into the new decade and the year of 2020. But the 2010s, the decade we've just experienced, has been an amazing decade for everywhere. We are going to talk about theme parks, we're not going to get into any political things that have happened in the last decade, but we are just going to talk about what theme park developments have happened in the last decade, and it has been brilliant. So 2010, the decade got off with an amazing start with Wild Asia, obviously opening at Chesington, with Cobra, and that was the revitalisation of Chesington really. 2011, we had quite a lot open, but 11 and 12 were quite quiet years. We had some bits. 2011, we barely got anything in this country, to be honest. But 2012, we did get the Swarm at Thorpe Park, the UK's first wing rider, which was fantastic really. That is a fantastic coaster, my favourite coaster in the UK, and we did get it at Thorpe Park, and it's still thrilling guests to this day really, and it's been a good addition in 2012. 2013 we got the Smiler, which at Alton Towers, Secret Weapon 7, and it was the ride with the most inversions in the world, 14 it had, which opened in 2013, it's an alright ride, it's a good ride, but I enjoy it just for how many inversions and how famous it is, but I don't enjoy it, it's quite rough, but when you go out it's always a special feeling when you feel like this has got the most inversions in the world. 2015 2014 we had quite a bit open. We had the new mine train at Chessington. Yeah, we also had a lot of development as well. And also around this time, Peppa Pig World opened at Portland, which was quite a big thing really for this country, how much we love Peppa Pig in the UK. The whole theme park area. Same in 2014, CBeebies Land opened at Alton Towers. That's quite big. So now you can, since then you've now been able to join Iggle Piggle on a boat ride and post some parcels with Postman Pat. 2015 we sadly did have the Smiler accident, which was a horrible accident that happened in May. Yeah, not much else happened in 2015, not a lot of new rides really. 2016 though, we had the Lost Kingdom at Portons Park. That was quite a big addition, probably the most themed area in this country that came. And then in 2017 we had quite a quiet year. We had Gruffalo open at Chessington and a couple of other bits. 2018 we did get Wicker Man, the wooden coaster in this country. And I just forgot about in 2016 when we did get Darren Brown's Ghost Train, but that is nothing to brag about. It is absolutely terrible, so I do not want to talk about that thing. It's nothing to be proud of. Yeah, well, it was meant to be like amazing, wasn't it? And really it wasn't. That was the same year Olympia Looping came, or Munich Looping as it's called over here, came to Winter Wonderland. 2017 a quiet year. 2018 we got Wicker Man, the new wooden coaster at Alton Towers. That was good. And then 2019, this year, I've told you about what we've got this year. We've got some fantastic developments across the world. Star Wars Land was added, which is probably the most advanced area in the world. But over the last decade we've had some ride closures. We've had so many famous rides in this country close and be removed and replaced by other attractions, some of them more sadder than others, such as Bubbleworks at Chessington, the world famous dark ride closing in 2016 to be replaced by the Gruffalo River Ride adventure. We've also had Safari Skyway also at Chessington, Runaway Mine Train, Dragon Falls, Safari Skyway also be removed for future development. We've also had Cloud Cuckoo Land at Alton Towers leave. We've also had the whole old McDonald's Farmyard and Squirrel Nutty Ride at Alton removed. Ripsaw at Alton Towers removed and nothing's in its place. Submission at Alton Towers. The Flume at Alton to be replaced by a Wicker Man. And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to be replaced by the Dungeons. And at Fort Park we've had a couple of ride closures, Loggers Leap being a major one. And Slammer as well, that also closed at Thorpe, and the Chief Ranger's Carousel. I know it's not that big, but it was still a good ride. I still prefer it to Darren Brown. And we have lost loads over this past decade, but hopefully 2020 will be an even better decade, and looks like lots in 2020 is going to make that decade even more fantastic. So let's take a look at what's happening in 2020. So now we're going to take a look at what's happening in 2020, but we're also going to take a look at our plans. We have some exciting plans for next year and a very big trip announcement that I'm going to be making in a few minutes' time. So 2020 is shaping up to be a fantastic year. We have got loads opening across the world and here in the UK. Alton Towers, we're getting David Walliams' world based around his children's books. Legoland, we're finally getting a new coaster, the Duplo Dream Coaster, which is a small kids coaster. Hopefully we can get that credit. Yeah, we've also Chessington, we're getting the Toad retheme and the new log flume there, which I've already got a log flume, but I think it's a kids log flume to obviously cope with Tiger Rock having that 1.2 height restriction. And at Fort Park we don't know what they're getting yet, but Flamingo Land up in Yorkshire, they're getting a 10 looping coaster, which is going to be fantastic. A clone of Colossus, which got some changes to it, and it's got lap bars. It looks a lot better than Colossus is. And we've also got Tornado Springs opening at Portland Park, which looks fantastic. That looks brilliant. With the new coaster Storm Chaser, the whole area. When they done Lost Kingdom, that was fantastic, and it's good they're expanding on that to make another area. And yeah, we've got a lot happening next year across the world. It's with Disney, they've got a lot of new rides opening, I believe. Marvel Land's opening in California. And yeah, we've got Iron Gwazi opening up at Busch Gardens. That looks fantastic. We got the Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando, Texas Stingray at SeaWorld at San Antonio. And we've got loads more Six Flags stuff, but they've got loads opening, and half of them just new flat rides. I ain't going to cover then. Universal have got loads opening. We've got loads opening next year, and it looks like 2020 is going to be a fantastic year. So now we're going to announce our plans for next year. So we are going to be visiting Chessington, Thorpe Park, Legoland and Alton Towers again, Adventure Island, Clacton Pier. Oh yeah, Clacton Pier are getting a log flume and a new coaster next year, so we will be down there to check out them. And yeah, we'll be going to Alton Towers, Clacton Pier, Southend-on-Sea, Adventure Island, all the typical places. And we'll be returning to Monk's Walk again in February. There'll be another closed season vlog from that I'm really looking forward to be doing again. And yeah, we've got a big trip. First, a smaller trip that I can announce now. We are, after last year, the British Grand Prix, had a fantastic time. We are returning for this year's Formula 1 British Grand Prix on there on Saturday and Sunday. A bit later this year, but there'll be a vlog from there again, and we're excited to see that. But now is the announcement of a big trip we're doing next year. It's abroad. We're going to Florida next year. Yes, we're doing a 2-week trip in Florida. So over to the United States of America, we're doing Florida, we're doing parks out there, we're doing Universal Orlando Resort, which has the parks Universal Studios Florida, Universal's Island of Adventure and Volcano Bay. We're also doing Busch Gardens in Tampa and SeaWorld Orlando as well. I cannot wait to go back to Harry Potter World. Last time I went was 2016, so you're going to see vlogs from all the parks we're doing and some of the other stuff we are going to do out there as well. And yeah, I can't wait. Volcano Bay, a water park we're visiting. I can't wait to show you all the videos from Florida. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be the best trip on the channel, and I really can't wait. That'll be in summer next year, where we'll be out there for 2 weeks, filming vlogs every day we go to Universal, and the times we go to Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. So that's it for this 2020 section. Now I'm going to show you some merchandise I've got over the last couple of months after the last monthly show. So welcome to Merchandise Showcase. So this month in Merchandise Showcase, I'm going to be showing you some merchandise I did pick up at Chessington and some other special merchandise. I'll just show you that creature there. And yeah, so at Chessington, when you stay in the hotel, you do get a lanyard with zebra prints and Britain's Wildest Adventure. And if you stay in an animal themed room, you do get a pop badge. So we got this when we stayed in a meerkat room, a safari hotel there, and a meerkat on it. You get the pop badge to the animal respective room you are staying at. But these new pop badges, there's pop badge machines located around the park, as you probably know. I've been doing sea life, animal and area pop badges. Now they're doing actual vintage classic ride pop badges in a selection of 4. I got 2. So first you've got Safari Skyway with Chessington on there, Safari Skyway and the dates of 1987 to 2015, like a monorail car. And then we've got one for Dragon Falls there, with Dragon Falls 1987 to 2017. And there's 2 more, there's a Bubbleworks one and a Rodeo one as well. Have we got the map there as well? But these are some special ones I did get for my birthday. We managed to get them off eBay. Some Thorpe Park Ranger figures. These are some of my famous merchandise. So we've got this little bear here from the Ranger, like lifting some weights there. We've also got the elephants. Mr. Rabbit, obviously. The giraffe. And Chief Ranger himself. But talking about the Rangers, Thorpe Park did post a couple of weeks back about next year to bring about some retro merch. And it also says that there might be some familiar faces returning. So maybe it is Thorpe Park Rangers. Let's get into the final section of this show, which is Shoutouts. So let's get into the final section of the show, which is shout-outs. You've got a lot to get through this week, because I do take a break over the winter months. I'll talk to you about when the monthly show will be back for on months, because I take a break over winter because nothing's really happening. And I'm just going to apologise. Sorry if I say anyone's name wrong, so I'm rubbish at pronunciation. So let's get straight into them. First we have Louis Clark, then we have Cameron Livermore, Ollie Shelton, Ben Lees, Erin Sheehan, Witness of Bass, Just Your Local Pigeon, Neve Taylor, Gordon Giles, Carl Livermore, Theme Park Magic, Mr. Duncan's Vlogs, The Theme Scene and Theme Park Days. Thank you for commenting, liking or subscribing on any of our videos. Don't forget to check out our videos. We've had 4 come on from White Castle for their Haunted Castle event, one from Southend for their Fright Fantastic event, also from Alton Towers for Scarefest, and Hyde Park with their Winter Wonderland. And so coming on soon will be a big Chessington vlog with the hotel stay and the park days at Winter's Tower all wrapped in one together. And yeah, the monthly show will be back at the start of March, so there'll be not this is the January one, no February one, and it'll be back at the start of March for the beginning of the theme park season, because nothing happens over winter. And yeah, that's it for this month of this show, this New Year's show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and don't forget to check out those videos and the Chessington video when it's online. I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope everyone has a Happy New Year. So I'll see you in 2020. Bye.